Welcome to the Haven for Soul Care, the podcast where we explore the art of nurturing the mind, body, and spirit. Each week, we bring you inspiring stories, insightful conversations, and practical tips to help you create a life of balance, peace, and purpose. Whether you're seeking guidance on personal growth, wellness, or simply need a moment to reconnect, this is your safe space. I'm your host, Brianna, and I'm so glad you're here. Let's dive in and take care of the soul. So, Matthew, thank you for joining us today. I'm excited to have you as our guest. It's really you share something that something with my son that a lot of people don't know. So, I'm gonna go ahead and let you introduce yourself and tell us more about you.
Well, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. My name is Matthew Kenslow, and over 20 years ago, I received a diagnosis of autism spectrum disorder. And autism is a neurodevelopmental disability that affects how our mind functions. And there are pros and cons and other things that I like to talk about.
Okay, good, good, good. I want you to tell us about your when did you get the formal diagnosis?
When I was six, around 6 years old, circa 2001.
Mm-hmm. Okay, okay. I know I looked at one of your previous interviews, and what I saw on there was that you received here in North Carolina, we call it early intervention. Um, and then you went on, you had the I think the initial diagnosis was a speech delay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
when I was 3 years old. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Um, when I listened and heard that because my son as he has autism as well and he's on the spectrum, and so the first diagnosis he received was a speech delay, and then he did not receive his formal, which I knew because I worked in the field. um I did not allow them to give him the diagnosis so early. I waited just to see. And so he didn't receive his formal diagnosis until he was actually in the fifth grade. So yeah, but I read, no, I didn't read, but when I listened to your interview, I saw that you happened to go to your parents and ask your parents what was going on with you because they never told you, correct?
Right, later on in life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's talk about the pros and the cons of autism.
Some of the negatives include these. It's hard to concentrate. So reading, trying to go to sleep at night, or doing homework and test was a struggle, and it simply just took me longer. Part of
Mm-hmm.
it was because it's hard for my mind to stop thinking of all these other things or music or television shows that I've watched. And at the same time, I wanted to have everything correct, everything understood for with my studies. And then I also had the speech delay, and then there's the social factor of autism. So I made lots of friends, but I was shy to hang out with them. And I've had my share of being teased and bullied for having autism.
Yeah. And I can imagine that that is painful and
Yeah.
hurtful. Yeah. Yeah. So tell me about the making of friends because I know with my son, it's difficult for him to make friends. So how did you go about making friends?
Initially, I guess I waited for friends to come to me, like my classmates. I would just um, be out by the playground or lunch tables, and people would come to me and start talking to me, and that introduction helped me. And I guess as I got older, it got a little easier going to new people myself.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. So I know that you have written is it a couple of books?
Yeah, too.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the process of you writing these books because with when you say that it's a little harder for you to concentrate on one task without thinking about other tasks or things that you've seen. Explain the process of you writing and your completion of the books, and then let's talk about what the books are.
Yeah, writing was the easy part for me because I always loved creative writing, creating stories, and it was a catharsis, a way for me to escape from the stresses of the day. I was writing since early elementary school, but when I got to college, I started independently to write something again that became my first book.
Oh, wow. Wow. So what's the first book that you wrote?
My first book is Juggling the Issues, and actually, to give myself a little correction, in college I started on a what became a trilogy, but
Hmm.
someone told me to do an autobiographical piece first, and that was my first book, Juggling the Issues. And it's an anthology or a collection of short stories where each story is a pro, a con, or something like an organization that gave me a chance.
Oh, wow. That's good. That's good. Did you get a lot of feedback from your book?
Yeah, I've read a lot of 4 to 5 star reviews on Amazon and Goodreads, and then people in person came to me saying that they enjoyed my book too.
Good, good. I like the title because I also know that you actually juggle
Yeah,
in real life.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I started doing that in 5th grade, and
Hmm.
then just my first talent show for juggling was in 6th grade, and I kept on practicing from there.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's good. Yeah. That's something that I tried and never could get. I'm uncoordinated, so I could never do that. So that's good. So what about your next book? Tell us about your next book.
The next one was Unstoppable, that was published a year ago in 2023, this month, and it chronicles my journey through student teaching and my adventures as a substitute teacher in my school district. And I was just reflecting on the process that took, the challenges and additional rigor due to autism, as well as how I wanted to become a teacher in the first place and what I had to fight for my early life to get to where I am today. So I just thought it'd be encouraging to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is very encouraging knowing that, even though you have autism, it did not stop you from reaching your goals in life. What were some of the struggles that you faced becoming a teacher?
Well, first the credential program was a bit rigorous, like the standardized tests they have to take beforehand. And doing the teaching part was kind of a bit easy. I always loved teaching as much as I love writing. I just had to learn how to teach in this day and age. They teach the Common Core method as opposed
Mhm.
to when I was teaching. I'm sorry, as opposed to when I was learning this stuff years ago. So I had to get that framework in mind.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think for us parents, when they changed over to that, it was difficult for us too to try to help our kids learn that type of way of solving problems. I thought, the old way, what's wrong with the old way? You get the same
Yeah.
answer, you get to the same result. So that I think that method really did put a lot of stress on children. So what you having to learn it, what did you feel the pressure or the stress of trying to learn that?
Uh, Kind of. It's like I know the math and I love the math, but the California and the curriculum McGraw-Hill wants us to teach it in a certain way. And later I kind of got a little understanding of what they were trying to do, like word-based problems, and so that students understand the math instead of doing like hundreds of algorithms or hundreds of times to get it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. I wish somebody would have told me that when my kids was going to school, because I just I struggled with that. So that's good. So and give us the name of this book again.
This book is Unstoppable, and the
Unstoppable.
subtitle is How One Man with Autism's Never Giving Up on His Lifelong Dream to Become a Teacher and a Worldwide Influencer.
Oh, wow. Let's talk
Mhm.
about the influencer part.
Yeah, I started to go on social media in 2017 publicly, starting with YouTube. And then in 2018, I got Twitter, now X, and Instagram, and just
Mm-hmm.
started to post there too. And then in 2022, I found out what PR was. So that got me on like news, radio, and podcast and
Mm-hmm.
magazines to reach to more people around the world about autism acceptance.
Oh, good, good, good. This is very encouraging, um, because I do believe that, since talking to you, that I'm going to encourage my son to be more open and more public with his stuff because he's really, really creative, but he's very shy. And so I'm going to purchase your book and give it to him so that he can read it and he can become encouraged as well outside of mom encouraging him to do these things. So I'm really, really proud of you. How I'm sure your parents are proud of you as well.
Yeah, that my family are.
Good, 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 good. Um, so tell us a little more about just your life in general, your life as a young man who has reached his goals and what is day-to-day life like for you?
My day to day currently is a substitute teacher in my district as I wait to have like a full fledged teaching job, hopefully in the next few years. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason why I'm not pursuing that immediately is because I do volunteer assemblies across Orange County, California, and I've spoken to over 10,000 students so far and a half million more to go. So I just
Wow.
thought because I have a big goal, so I thought maybe I'll just sub in the meantime. And meanwhile, like a lot of students recognize me like walking like in the neighborhood and saying hello, Mr. Kenslow to me and saying that I was a good sub to them. And
Yeah.
and then I'm also a private tutor on the side. So I've been tutoring like math primarily to elementary to high schoolers
Mm-hmm.
and then just post on social media.
Oh, well, that's good. You have an exciting life. You're doing more than I think I'm doing. Um, so that's really good. That's encouraging. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And so how many books do you have?
Just two.
Just the two.
Yeah.
And so we can purchase both Unstoppable and Give me the title of the first one again.
Juggling the issues.
Juggling the Issues. So we can get both of these books on Amazon, correct?
Yeah, Amazon or barnesandnoble.com.
Good,
Yeah.
good, good. So
Yeah.
I want to, the audience, if you are able and if you can, I want us to go out and support Matthew and go and get his book because I know it's going to be encouraging. And if Matthew could push past these things that we oftentimes call obstacles, then we all can. There's nothing that can stop us. As your second title of your book, Unstoppable, um, um, states we are unstoppable people if we put our mind to it, if we are determined to get to the end goal. And it sounds like Matthew, you have a lot of more goals that you're trying to reach too. And I know that you're going to reach down a million. So you said 500,000 more people that you are looking to speak to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Voluntarily in Orange County.
Yeah, yeah, and that's good because I don't know if you struggle with anxiety, but my son struggles with anxiety to be in front of people.
Yeah, in the past, I mean, yeah, I had those butterflies and when I was starting out like over 10 years ago, like speaking and advocating, but now it's I got more comfortable.
The more that you did it,
Yeah. And
yeah,
I think if I was able to speak to 600 students at one time, according to what they told me, then I think I could speak to many.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I want you to do me a favor. I want you, if you had um uh, a young a young person who is sitting in front of you right now, who has autism, who is dealing with bullying, who has dreams and aspirations and they're struggling socially, what would you leave them? What would you tell them if they were sitting in front of you telling you that they are dealing with those issues? How would you encourage them?
My primary advice is to not allow the label of autism or any disability to slow you down or to stop you. And that disability or not, we have a heart, we have a mind, and we could do whatever we set our heart and mind to, as long as it's practical, of course. I give my be number one encouragement, which says to never give up on what you want to do and who you want to be, even in the face of adversity, and to embrace the uniqueness that we have. Everyone's unique the way they are, and some people are good at these things but not yet those things, and it's part of what makes us unique. It's okay to be encouraged and influenced by people, but don't try to be them. Be yourself at the same time.
That is good. That is good. I'm gonna ask you one more thing, if you can. If you had to speak to the parents of those of a particular student that was dealing with those issues, what would you tell the parent?
Just to continue to show encouragement and care, I would say to the child or the teenager, and to give them life's opportunities. My mother helped me with a lot of things, like even everyday things like balancing a checkbook or driving or cooking, and just to make sure that they have that opportunity and encouragement to have an enjoyable life.
Good, 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 good. Thank you. Um, Again, let us support Matthew by going to Amazon and getting both of his books. The links will be in the bio below. If you're listening on YouTube, just look below. If you are on any of our popular podcast streams, please look in the bio in the introduction, and you will find the links to each of these books. Matthew, do you have a website of your own? I know you're on Instagram, so we can find you on Instagram. What's your
Yeah.
other social media platforms?
YouTube, LinkedIn, X, and Facebook.
Okay. Are you under Matthew
Yeah,
Kenslow?
yeah, Matthew Kenslow for all of them. On
Okay.
Facebook, it's called Juggling the Issues, Unstoppable. So, but
Good.
everywhere else is Matthew Kenslow.
Okay, so we're going to go and start following Matthew, and encouraging him and getting his message across. So please, 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 do me a favor and let's follow Matthew, and let's continue to encourage him. Thank you again, Matthew, for joining us. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. I thank you for your hard work and your dedication, because truly, 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 your life shines brighter than I believe that you even know. For kids that are like my young son, who strives and who has a desire to do and be more, because he knows he can. But once he gets introduced to you, I know that this is going to be an encouragement for him. So thank you for all that you do. Thank you for your work. Um, and so, again, thank you for joining us for today's episode on the Haven for Soul Care. Please make sure that you go to the link below and the links below and purchase the books. And please follow Matthew on all social media platforms. Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Haven for Soul Care. We hope today's conversation has provided you with the encouragement and tools to take care of yourself and embrace the journey ahead. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider subscribing, rating, and sharing it with others who may benefit. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. Take a moment today to nurture your soul. Until next time, take care of yourself and each other.